Let's count down the 5 most horrifying punishments of one of history's most powerful empires, the Persian Empire. And just to be clear, this isn't one of those lists with a few mildly unpleasant punishments. By the time we reach number 1, your entire perception of the Persian Empire might completely change. Let's begin. Number 5. The mark of shame, mutilation as punishment. Before we enter the real darkness, let's start somewhere relatively bearable. In the Persian Empire, not every crime was punished with death. Some punishments were designed simply to brand you as a criminal for the rest of your life. For repeat offenders, the Persians had a very practical solution. Remove the body part responsible for the crime. Steal. Your hand could be cut off. Insult the king. Your nose could be removed. In 522 BC, as rebellion after rebellion erupted across the empire, King Darius didn't just crush them, he sent a permanent message. The rebel leaders had their noses, ears, and tongues cut off in public before they were executed, and it didn't stop there. He had the entire event carved into the 15-meter-high Behistun inscription, where it still stands today. The man literally turned his war crimes into public art. The message was simple. Challenge the king and your own face will become a monument to your mistake. Makes a strongly worded letter seem pretty harmless, doesn't it? Number 4. Torn apart. Death by 2 trees. Alright, now we're getting to the real horrors. In ancient Persia, if someone robbed or attacked travelers on the road, they could face one of the most creative executions in the ancient world. The executioners would first find 2 young, flexible trees growing close together. They would bend both trees toward each other and tie their tops together like a giant loaded spring. Then the criminal was brought in. Each leg was tied to one of the bent tree tops, and then the ropes were cut. In an instant, both trees snapped back upright at full force, tearing the person in half. But here's the even more disturbing part. Whenever possible, the Persians chose trees near the scene of the crime. That way, whatever remained served as a warning to everyone passing by. Don't rob people. It's hard to imagine a more effective marketing campaign than that. Number 3. The Tower of Ashes. This punishment was reserved for the worst criminals of all. Those guilty of crimes against the gods or treason against the king. The Persians built a special tower solely for this purpose. 75 feet tall, completely enclosed, hollow inside, built for one thing only. The condemned person was thrown inside. Then came the ashes. Fine ash was slowly poured in from below, filling every breath, every cough, every desperate attempt to survive. There was no escape, no light. Standing in complete darkness, they slowly suffocated as the ashes continued to rise. It was deliberately slow, deliberately filthy. The Persians believed that some deaths should weigh as heavily as the crimes themselves, and betrayal of the gods or the king deserved a punishment that literally felt like the entire world was collapsing on top of you. Number 2. Impalement, the Persian Way. Impalement wasn't unique to Persia. Many civilizations used it, but the Persians did it differently. For most societies, it was simply an execution, but the Persians turned it into theater. Major criminals, rebel leaders, traitors, enemy commanders, they were impaled publicly, slowly, and in full view of everyone. The goal wasn't just to kill, it was to show the entire empire exactly what happened to those who defied the king. The most disturbing part of the Persian version was what came afterward. The bodies remained on display at city gates, along major roads for days. King Darius proudly recorded in the Behistun inscription exactly how many rebel leaders he had impaled. He didn't hide it, he carved it into stone on the side of a mountain. That alone tells you how seriously the Persians took the idea of making an example. Number 1. Scaphism, the boats. And finally, we've reached number 1. Scaphism, also known simply as the boats. It wasn't designed to kill quickly. It wasn't even designed as a public spectacle. It was designed to be as long as miserable and as inescapable as humanly possible. The condemned person was trapped between 2 boats or 2 hollowed-out tree trunks, locked together like a shell. Small openings were left for the head, hands, and feet. The rest of the body was completely enclosed. They were then taken to the middle of a calm lake. But before that, they were force-fed a mixture of milk and honey, not as a final meal. The mixture was specifically intended to cause severe digestive distress, quickly turning the inside of the boat into something we won't describe in detail. The same honey mixture was smeared over the exposed skin, the face, the hands, the feet. The rest was left to the lake. The flies, the wasps, the bees, every insect drawn to sweetness gathered around the victim. And once they came, they didn't leave. Meanwhile, every single day, the victim was fed again. More milk, more honey. They were intentionally kept alive. Because the punishment wasn't death, death was simply how it ended. The Persian Empire built one of the greatest civilizations in human history. Roads, a postal system, religious tolerance, architecture that still survives today. And then, they created this.